talking about winners, son. We're not interested in semi-finals and finalists. We're about winners. Which I'm not sure about the silly hat on, but I think in those times I always just do something stupid. That's my mate Brighty, FA Cup final. Great day, to be fair. I thought we got beat, you know, 3-1 down, and managed to score. I think Danny Wallace scored, Mark Hughes scored, and then Danny Wallace scored the equaliser and make it 3-3. It was funny though, because that was the first time that I became good friends with Ian Wright, because Ian Wright didn't play that game, he was on the bench. And obviously me, Wrighty and Bright are very good friends now, but Wrighty was on the bench and he was absolutely livid, and then he came on and scored two fantastic goals. And he thought it was enough to win the FA Cup, and it should have been, to be fair. We ended up getting the third one from Danny Wallace to take it into a replay, you know, and that was the first time I met Wrighty. And to be fair, the replay wasn't great. It was funny though, because the first one at Wembley was a really good game. It was a top game of football. You know, the second one, for some reason, they went a bit aggressive. Palace tried to just nullify us. It was probably one of the worst cup finals that I've been involved in. Yeah, we've seen some good old faces there, Cantona and Keeney. You know, it's such a very good, it's a top team. When you look at all those players, Giggsy, you know, Sharpie. And obviously traditional, you know, I think the FA Cup meant so much in those days. You know, nowadays it's still important, but I think it's one of the, you know, the biggest trophy that, you know, in domestic football, the FA Cup, and everybody wanted to win it. You know, when you think about, you know, at school as a kid, and you kind of like used to play a game called Wembley, you know, as young kids, and it was about going to Wembley and winning the FA Cup final. So, you know, it was a massive. It was a league, FA Cup. You know, they were the two major things, so to do it there twice was great. First 15 minutes, they started off really, really well. And then obviously we got the penalty. Cantona scored, and we got another penalty. Before that, once went to 2-0 up, we were cruising, to be fair. And that was the stupid situation when I went around a goalkeeper, and I should have scored, but me being me, I thought I'd do the right thing and give it to Chucky McClare, so Brian McClare at the time. People still ask me, what was you thinking of? You know, and I just said, well, listen.
We're going to show you.
You're going to show it, are we?
Now Cantona, he's got players joining him. One of them is...
What a play he was, Cantona.
Two to the left. Oh, and onside. Points for Manchester United. Can he finish it here?
Mind you, I'm a bit wide, anyway.
Oh, and Silkus.
To be fair, I'm a little bit wide, you know. But the thing is, I should actually shot, because the game was over. We were 3-0 up, and the game was done, you know. But sometimes you get more accolades just for just squaring it rather than trying to score yourself. You know, it wasn't that important to me. And look at it there, it's the right thing to do. Just walking up those Wembley steps, that's sort of the thing. I always wanted to dream of walking up the Wembley steps, so it was nice to do that. Yeah, to be fair, I was the bit of a joke of the team, as you can see. But you know, it's just one of those things. I think about it now. I don't know why I do such a stupid thing. You know, because you're a manager and you think. But listen, it's one of those things. As I said, everyone found it funny apart from Dennis, but his sense of humour has always been poor anyway. You know, he hasn't got much of a great sense of humour. At least Kenny's laughing. How often do you see Kenny laugh now? So at least he's laughing now. So yeah, listen, it's just fun times, isn't it? Wow. Where was that? Obviously, I must be at Macclesfield Town now, by the looks of it. My son needs his haircut, I know that for sure, as he's at Liverpool, so why have I got the FA Cup there? I think it was. I think actually we drew, I'll tell you what it was, but in the third round we got Chelsea away. We drew Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge. That's when they had all the top players. Shevchenko was playing. I'll tell you about this game. I think Frank Lampard was on the bench, but they still had some really, really good top players. So we go 1-0 down. I remember when all our fans were just packed down behind the goal at the other end of the Stamford Bridge, and we went 1-0 down, and then John Murphy scored to make it 1-1. And we were holding our own. And then right before the end, our keeper got sent off. Shevchenko scored the penalty, make it 2-1. So we had to put our centre half in goal. And then they brought Frank, and we were still holding on for 65 minutes, we were holding our own. Then they brought Frank Lampard on. within 10 minutes he scored a hat-trick. I think we got beat 6-1. And I think that might have been just because of that, prior to that game. That's a nice picture. That's a shock, isn't it, with his hands up in the air and his mouth open, you know what I mean? He's obviously shouting at someone. Yeah, that was a very good game, to be fair. Again, a bit of a sickener, to be honest. You know, as you can see, we're playing City, and Cheney there. And to be fair, we played really well. Full house, went in front. Bishop scored from a corner, flicked it straight in, and we were cruising. Tevez was playing, all that lot were playing. And then I think it was the 85th minute, I think it was. David Silva did something on the right-hand side, and Dzeko scored in the 85th minute to make it 1-1. So they kind of got away with that game. We should have actually beat them that afternoon. And then we went to the replay then at the Etihad. Went one in front after about 10 minutes. Cole Hawley cut inside and whipped it into the top man corner and just stunned the crowd. But after that, that was it. That kind of woke them up a bit, and they were getting beat 5-1. But listen, it's funny though, if you look at the state of me to the managerial, I'm looking, I look at the state of me, Mancini's all like nice coat and like scarf, and I've got like, unbelievable. But for the fans, it's a journey where you can actually look at teams like Millwall winning it and Wigan, you know what I mean? So it's possible to actually win it. I know sometimes clubs prioritise the league, I get that, and rightly so sometimes, but in a way that could benefit the lower clubs, because then the bigger clubs don't play their full squads, and you know, we all love this giant killing stuff and mad results that you get, which we'll probably see at the weekend. You know, that's what the FA Cup's about, and it's about, you know, the mad results, the giant killing, you know, and you know, that's what's so great. So, and you always get the chance of being in the hat. You want to be in the hat. You want to see who you're going to play. You want to know if you're going to go to Old Trafford or Etihad or Anfield or one of those big clubs. You know, that's the excitement of it. So. You know, as much as you get probably the bigger teams or the Premier League teams probably walking their squads, as far as, you know, it's still for us, it's an opportunity for us to get into the hat, and our fans can dream, because I think the longer you go into this tournament, you know, fans would dream, you know. So, listen, we got a tough one against Watford, you know that. So, but we're at home, and you know, whatever team I put out, you know, I want to win it. You know, when you look at these pictures now and you see what it means, not to me, but to everyone, with the players and the smiles on their face, you know, you kind of want to feel that again, you know what I mean? So it's important that we go out and, you know, and try and win the game.